There is a breakthrough in a feud that has been intensifying between Egypt, Ethiopia and Sudan. The dispute is around a giant hydroelectric dam. Now, Ethiopia is building on the Nile River close to the border with Sudan, as you will see on our map. Now, Egypt gets most of its water supply from the Nile. It's worried that its share of the water will be reduced when Ethiopia starts to fill the massive dam. Now, discussions between the countries broke down earlier this year, and Egypt's President Fattah el-Sisi asked US President Donald Trump to mediate. Delegations from Egypt, Ethiopia and Sudan met in Washington. They also met with Trump. They set a January 15 target for resolving the issues. But even if they come to agreement, Egypt still faces broader water problems that have left its farmers struggling.
It's as if someone has turned off the tap. Water from the river Nile used to flow abundantly through this canal, irrigating the farmland here in northern Egypt. Now the canal has dried up, forcing Ahmed Abdrabbo to abandon half of his plot.
There is very little water from the Nile. Sometimes there's a bit more in winter, mainly because the land doesn't need so much water then. But in summer we don't get any water.
Egypt's government wants its farmers to irrigate more efficiently and to plant seeds that require less water. It's also trying to recycle water, but the measures simply aren't enough.
Throughout Egypt, the drastic rise in temperatures and the increase in the intensity of climate events, such as heat waves, increases the amount of water that crops use. So the amount of water that used to be enough for a certain plot of land 20 or 30 years ago is not enough today. We need more water.
Now Ethiopia is building a giant dam upstream on the Nile. Many fear Egypt's creeping water crisis could get worse. Ethiopia Grand Renaissance Dam is set to become Africa's largest hydroelectric power plant. Once the reservoir starts to fill, Egyptian officials worry the water levels will fall even more.
More than 90% of Egypt's water depends on Nile water outside our borders. As such, projects like dams, which are being established in the source countries without consultation with the countries that the Nile pours into, represent a problem.
Even small changes to the Nile's water flows will have a big effect.
If the Nile water drops, like I said before, any 2% drop of water affects 1 million people. So it's really the more impoverished categories and the farmers, I think, that will be affected most.
Egypt and Ethiopia are continuing their negotiations over the Nile's water and hope to reach an agreement early next year.